Switchcraft is brought to you live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern and on Saturday whenever I can get to it. Tune in live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Jason Parker. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get a bonus podcast over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. Looking for other ways to support the show? It's very, very easy to do. Head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thank you. And this episode of Switchcraft is actually brought to you by another podcast. It's brought to you by 78 Degrees. That is my brand new podcast. It's me and my buddy Richard. We sit down, we talk about whatever it is that we feel like. Last episode, we talked about the new products from Apple, as well as why we are not a fan of daylight savings time and how time zones work. So if you are interested in checking that out, make sure you head on over to runjumpstomp.com/78 degrees and subscribe in whatever podcast app that you want to use. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Pocket Cast, Overcast. It's everywhere. So just make sure you subscribe. And if you like the show, please make sure to go to Apple Podcasts and rate the show, because the more ratings we get, the more downloads we get, the more likely it is that it will show up in New and Noteworthy, which would be ridiculously awesome to happen. So one more time for that URL, it's runjumpstomp.com/78 degrees, DEGREES, 78 degrees. There, I did it so much better that time. And while I'm thinking of it, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. Dang it. If you haven't already subscribed, click on that link right there, you guys. That would be awesome. Okay? Click on that link, subscribe, download the show. Captain Logan, I just wagered half my pocket protectors on cards and lost them all, so all I got was this free content. I'm sorry, Captain Logan. All right. Well, today's going to be a slow news day, and so I decided to talk about one of the big announcements actually two of the big announcements that came up in the recent Nintendo Direct. One I touched on a little bit, and one I didn't talk about at all. So let's talk about that first one. That first one is Splatoon 2. There are a lot of people who are confused, myself included, about what exactly Splatoon 2 version 4.0, that almost like a music video. I don't really know what exactly that was, because there was this one point in the video where it said turf war on the screen. It said ink the most turf to win, right? And then underneath, for a split second, it said 100x combat. And a lot of people are not sure exactly what that means. There are many people who jumped to the conclusion that that means that we're getting Splatoon 2 with 100 players, kind of like a Battle Royale mode. But I don't think that that works, because they were saying that it was turf war, so it's ink the most to win. And that doesn't seem to me to be something like Battle Royale, where Battle Royale tends to be more along the lines of, one player wins at the end. And sure, you can go through and splat people, but how do they handle one? Are they going to have 100 different colors of ink? What if you and somebody else both have pink ink and you're up against each other, and you spray the ground and then they can swim through it? That seems really confusing. Now, I know there's games like Fortnite that has 50v50 mode, and that's a possibility. I understand how that would work, and sure, you can slowly eliminate people. But for me, I don't look at I don't look at that as really the way to play. Captain Logan says, you see your color and everyone else's color is the same. Oh, I understand what you're saying, but then, okay, so Captain Logan is saying you see whatever color you are, and then everybody else that you see has the same color. So I would be the only pink ink in a sea of green ink, if that makes sense. And while I get what you're saying, that would be confusing, because if I'm playing and I see like this green ink on the ground in front of me, and I see this other player trying to swim past it, like I might think that they can just swim right past, but in reality to them, they're seeing whatever color that's not the same as theirs. So I don't think that that would work either. Now, I'm not saying that Nintendo can't figure out how Battle Royale would work for Splatoon 2, but the fact that they called it Turf War tells me that doesn't make sense personally. I almost feel like they were saying Turf War is 100 times better, instead of saying that it was 100 players. And I'm very much looking forward to them explaining exactly what's going on. Mikey Be Playing in chat says a 50v50 tour 4 would be, I don't know what tour 4 means, would be really fun if the map design was well done. And, you know, oh, Turf War. Okay, I see. A 50v50 Turf War. I get what you're saying. I think that for Splatoon 2, to have that, a 50v50, like, they would need a very vertical map, I think. I don't know that they would want to have people spread out quite so much, because it's not like you are going around looting stuff, and maybe you drop, maybe you do, maybe you drop and you don't have any weapons and you pick up a sniper rifle or you pick up grenades. I don't know how it would work. Fisto has a good point. Maybe it's 25 versus 25 versus 25 versus 25 with 4 different colors. Very, very good idea. But again, I don't know that they meant a battle royale. I think people are looking at that number 100 and saying that that means it's a battle royale, and I don't think that it is, because battle royale is very, very different than these other things that we're all talking about here in the chat. By the way, if you didn't know, you can watch this show live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and be part of the conversation, so make sure you do. All right, Captain Logan is saying something here in chat. It's kind of long, and he's pretty good guy, so I can trust that I can just read it without pre-reading it. It says, starting with version 4.0.0, Splatfests in Splatoon 2 will be changed significantly. 2 new modes, Normal and Pro, replace the previous solo and team modes. In normal mode, yeah, I read about this the other day, but that doesn't tell me what they mean by 100x. Okay, so let me keep reading what he said. 2 new modes, Normal and Pro, replace the previous solo and team modes. In Normal mode, you can jump into Splatfest battle on your own or join up with 1 to 3 friends from the same Splatfest team. If you join a match as a group of 2 or 3, random solo players will be matched up and make this a group of 4. All right, so first off, I read that the other day, and I was going to talk about that next, but I'll talk about it now. This is something that should have been done from the very beginning. Splatoon should have always allowed me to partner with 1 or 2 other people and been able to play the game. Now, right there it says Splatfests will be changed significantly. That doesn't mean that you'll always be able to play the game that way, though I wish that you could. All right. He then goes on to say, Pro mode is for those who want to go solo and push themselves to the limit. In Pro mode, you're judged on your Splatfest power. Raise it high enough and you could make it into the Splatfest top 100. In this mode, you increase your clout by beating the opposing team. You get more clout for beating teams with a higher Splatfest power. In the above mode, in addition to the above, 10x battles will be added in both divisions. These are rare matches that will occur, and if you are lucky, and if you win, your contribution points will be multiplied by 10. And believe it or not, there's a rumor of a super rare 100x battles could also occur. Okay, but that doesn't really tell me what a 100x battle is. And that's what they posted in that video, is 100x battles. It doesn't really make that. Does that mean just my contribution points are multiplied by 100 instead of 10? I don't know. Yeah, Captain Logan, I think that you're right. So the 100x counts to your clout points, which is fine. I don't care about that, but it's disappointing that there's no that we won't be seeing a battle royale in Splatoon, because I think it could work if done right, and I think that it would be enough. It would be different enough that it would be different enough that it would differentiate itself from the other battle royale games out there. But for them to just say 100x battle, like whatever, like how are people supposed to know what that means from the video? Like that was very confusing. Anyway, they're simply multiplying the points, as Rock Roller 1UP says. So that's, I knew it wasn't going to be a battle royale. I knew a lot of people were saying it was going to be a battle royale, but for me, I didn't see Nintendo doing that without coming out and calling it battle royale. And a lot of people jumped to that conclusion. Captain Logan also says, if your friend wins a 10x battle or someone wins a 100x battle, teams may appear on the big screen in Inkopolis Square. Meh, whatever. That's not exciting to me. That I don't really care about that at all. However, if Nintendo did make a battle royale for Splatoon, it would be enough to get me to play more often. Because right now I only ever play Splatoon like once a month or something like that. But it's not like that game is hard pressed to find people to play it. All right, the other piece of the other piece of this is Animal Crossing. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Animal Crossing, and I wanted to know what you thought would be good features for Animal Crossing on the Switch. I know that the game's coming out in 2019, and my guess is going to be fall 2019 or something like that. I'm guessing here. Okay, that's where I would put it. I would put it at fall. I would probably put Metroid as a summer game and Animal Crossing as a fall game. Animal Crossing features that I want. That's what I'm here to talk about, and I'm very curious as to what you guys think about this. But I would really like it if, when I'm playing Animal Crossing and I have access to the internet, it makes a copy of my world and uploads it to a server someplace. And then anybody who I'm friends with could come to that, even if I'm not playing. I'm talking asynchronous play. They could come to that, and they could go around and shake the trees and get the fruit, and but they could only pick the amount of fruit that they have on them. Like let's say that I have apples in my town and they have bananas. Okay. They could go to my town and drop off 15 bananas in a bucket or whatever, and then they could go and pick 15 apples. I think that would be a really, really cool way to do that. And then the next time that I connect to the internet, it sends me the 15 bananas, tells me who it's from, and then takes a copy of my world and replaces the one that's up there. I think that would be a really cool way to play. Something else that I would like to see is, if you are playing locally, if you could, we already know that the Switch has this ability in the new Mario Party game to put your Switch side by side with another one and kind of connect them by swiping your finger from one to the other. And that's how there's some kind of toad mechanic in the new Mario Party You set your switches down, you draw a line from one switch to the other on the screen with your finger, and then those two are communicating with each other. And I would really like to be able to make like neighbors that way. I think it would be very cool that if I'm sitting there and my son has his switch and we put our switches next to each other and we draw a line, we can then be neighbors. And that means that our towns are now next door to each other, and we can freely walk from one town to the other. And every time that you're online, it pushes copies up to the server, so that even if you're offline, you can do that. I think that that would be very, very cool. Captain Logan wants to have adaptive animal languages. The more you interact with a certain type of animals, the more you begin to understand their gibberish, till eventually you hear them in English or whatever your native language is. I don't think that that will ever happen, Captain Logan, because the gibberish that they say, that's almost like that's like a fingerprint for Animal Crossing. When you hear that whatever you want to call that sound, you know exactly what game it is that's making that sound. It's very unique. Like I said, it's a fingerprint. It's a retinal scan. It is identifying of that genre, of that franchise. And I think for them to put in voice acting, now you're going to increase the size of the game, because voice acting files are very, very big. And you're also, now you have to pay to have voice actors come in, so you're increasing the cost of the game. I don't see Nintendo ever replacing that gibberish sound that they use, because they can use that in every single region, and all they have to do is swap out the text. So I don't think I would ever see something like that. Fisto wants custom servers like in Minecraft. That's an interesting thought, but I'm curious as to what exactly you mean by that. Something else that I would like to see in Animal Crossing for the Switch is a bigger inventory, and for them to make inventory management not such a chore. When I played, and the only Animal Crossing I've ever played is New Leaf. And I know that some people may say, well, Bill, pain in the butt to manage inventory is a staple of the franchise. Maybe that's true. I would be very happy if they could get rid of that, because I can't stand how horrible it is to try and look through this bag. Oh, the thing that I wanted is not in there. Now I got to go over to this closet and look through that. And I want to be able to very easily open up my bag and have like an infinite inventory in there where I can look through stuff. Or maybe not an infinite inventory, but an ever expanding inventory that expands as you increase the storage that you have in the game. We're playing in a world where we have neighbors with dogs and porcupines or whatever, and KK Slider is a dog that plays the banjo or the guitar. I can't even remember. I think we can throw realism out the door. I know that there's going to be people who want to have some kind of connection with Pocket Camp to the Switch version. I don't care if that happens. I think I'm fine with that, but it wouldn't affect me at all. Let's see. I just want to be able to say Animal Crossing has more spoken dialogue than Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh, I got what you're saying, Captain Logan. So for overall, I'm looking forward to Animal Crossing. My wife, myself, and my son all have played Animal Crossing New Leaf. We all have our own 3DSs, and we had a lot of fun playing that game. And I really want them to make the online stuff simpler. I want them to make going to somebody's town easier. I want to be able to go to somebody's town and see a thing that they have in their house and be like, oh man, I really like that. Can I buy that? Not from somebody, but from like the store, So here, have my 300 bells, and I get a copy of that at my house when I show up or in the mail. I would like the mail to be easier to use as well. Captain Logan is asking, are there vehicles in New Leaf? Can they add vehicles to travel to areas faster? Well, I don't think that there's vehicles in New Leaf. I could be wrong about that. I probably only have 30 or 40 hours in that game, and I would say that I don't remember seeing a vehicle even once, except for the boat that takes you to the other island. So I don't think that there's vehicles. And as far as having vehicles to make it so you can travel faster, I would say that would almost be against the slow nature of play that Animal Crossing has. I mean, it feels like Animal Crossing is a very, very slow and deliberate game, whereas you're asking for a way to get from point A to point B faster. I would prefer, except in response to that, I would say I would just prefer to have a fast travel option rather than being able to drive around in the world. Especially because the worlds always seem so small. I would also like to have multiple neighborhoods so I could be able to do something in this neighborhood and then have a second save file or something that I could easily just switch between without having to log all the way out of the game. I could just say, oh, hit the R button and you switch over to your other town. I think that would be very cool as well. But if there's anything that we can say about Nintendo is that I'm sure that they will think of something that nobody else has thought of, and it's going to be really cool. And Fisto is saying an auction house. Yes, I would like an auction house. That would be very cool. I get 38 Mario hats every time that I open a fortune cookie. I get a Mario hat. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of these Mario hats. I don't want another Mario hat, but I keep getting them. Let me sell those on an auction house on an online auction house for bells so that other people can get the thing that I have. You definitely want to integrate this game with the online service. And you know what else I would really like? I would like an app on my phone, kind of like if I open up the where is it? I'm trying to find it now. The Nintendo Switch Online app. If I open it up and you see that there's the Splatoon 2 icon, I would love to have an Animal Crossing icon that I could shop for stuff in the app and then have it show up in my mailbox. I think that would be really cool, and it would give me a reason for that to use this app some more. Which we'll talk about this app in a little bit. Overall, those are the things that I want from Animal Crossing on the Switch, and I would love to hear what you guys want for Animal Crossing on the Switch. So let me know. There's lots of ways that you can let me know. You can join our Discord over at runjumpstomp.com/discord. You can email me at bill@runjumpstomp.com. You can call and leave a voicemail at 260-RUN-JUMP, and you can get a hold of me on Twitter at RunJumpStomp, of course, and I'm sure that there's other ways, but you can find them all over at runjumpstomp.com. Let me know what you want from Animal Crossing. What do I want from Luigi's Mansion 3? Captain Logan, I don't know that I can answer that because I have no idea. I just want more Luigi's Mansion. Like I had a lot of fun with the first one. The second one I also really enjoyed, but I ended up setting it down for some reason. I'm just happy they're making another one, so I don't know that I have anything to say about that. You've been pondering it a lot lately? If I hadn't talked so long about the other two things, I'd invite you on to tell me what you want, but we're already at 23 minutes. You don't like Luigi's Mansion, Mikey? I think it's a great game. They're really fun. Well, I didn't expect to talk about Splatoon 2 and Animal Crossing for nearly as long as I did. So I'm going to take the rest of the stories and squeeze them down into the lightning round. Mostly because they're really quick stories anyway. So the first one is there are people who are upset, of course, because it's the internet and people that that's the default. People are always upset about something. And anytime Nintendo does one thing, some like 28 people get upset about it. So, um, save data for Nintendo Switch. It says right here an FAQ for Nintendo. It says save data stored with Nintendo. Save data stored with Save Data Cloud. Oh my God, that's such a horrible sentence. Cannot be. Okay, so I'm just going to summarize. I'm not going to read it. Save data will not be saved if you let your account expire. And a lot of people are upset about that. But honestly, I don't think that that's really that big of a deal. And here's the reason why. Okay? The reason why I don't think it's a big deal is because the chances of, like, first off, you're paying them. Okay, first off, should they give it away for free? Absolutely. Or let us back it up on our own. That's my number one thing. I want to say that before I say anything else. If they let us back it up on our own, then nobody would complain about any. Well, people would still complain, but you get what I'm saying. So that now that I've said that, why isn't this a big deal? I think that this is not a big deal because first off, if you're not paying them, why should they continue to store your stuff? And yes, I know PlayStation stores your stuff for 6 months. That'd be wonderful if Nintendo did that, but I can understand how they are under no obligation to if you're not paying them. I totally get that. If you let's say that you have your Switch, and I know some people are like, but what if like my credit card is expired and my Nintendo Switch Online stops working? Well, but your stuff is still stored on your console, so it's okay. Just switch out your credit card and get your next year of Nintendo Switch Online, and then you keep that backup rolling. I don't think that this is nearly as big a deal as people think it is. I don't think it's a big deal at all. If you think it's a big deal, please feel free to let me know why I'm wrong. The next thing is another thing that people are upset about is the special offers that are coming with the Nintendo Switch Online service. And that is the two controllers, the NES controllers that fit on the sides of your Nintendo Switch to charge. These are wireless controllers and they look awesome. And they are exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online members, which means you're not going to walk into a Walmart and find this. In order to get this, you have to you have to have Nintendo Switch Online as a, it says right here, limit one purchase per Nintendo account with paid Nintendo Switch Online individual or family membership. Offer not available for trial membership. So you have to have the Nintendo Switch Online. And I think the reason why they're doing this, and the reason why I think this is okay, even though people are like, but I don't want the online, but I still want this controller. The reason why I think Nintendo are doing this is because, well, first off, they have to give us something for their exclusive offers, okay? But the real reason that I think that this is because this is for Nintendo games. All right, this controller is for NES games. And yeah, you could probably use it for some games, but most games this won't be compatible with. And Nintendo doesn't want people going out and buying this for their system and then bringing it home and not having anything to use it with, because then people would be upset about that. What, I can't play, X game with this? Well, yeah, it only has a couple of buttons, so no, you can't. I understand that. That makes sense to me. So having this be behind the paywall of the $20 a year thing, I'm fine with that. And I mean, in fact, if you wanted, you could buy 1 month of the membership in order to give you access to buy these controllers. I really don't see this as a big deal. Secondly, this was really interesting. They also have a special offer, and this doesn't, I don't care about this, but it was something that I found interesting. There's a special offer for those of us who have the 12-month or the family memberships that you get in-game gear as a download code. For you get like an online jersey and online Squid Ink V shoes. This is in Splatoon 2. And why is this interesting to me? Well, the reason it's interesting is right here. It says, I'm sorry, it says for family, I can't highlight the part that I want. There we go. For family members, for family memberships, 8 download codes, one for each member of the family group, will be sent to the email addresses associated with the purchasing Nintendo account. So, like my son and I play Splatoon. Nobody else in the house plays Splatoon. But are they going to send me 8 codes anyway? What am I going to do with those 8 codes? It just seems kind of weird. And why is it limited to? Oh, that's right. It's limited to 8 because that's how many family plans they can have, or how many accounts can be on the family plan. I just think that's a really strange thing. It should just be automatic. Like you shouldn't have to have a code. I shouldn't have to put in a code. This bothers me just a little bit. I shouldn't have to put in a code. Nintendo knows that I pay for the online. So if I'm playing online, it should automatically just show up in my inventory. It just seems more than a little doofy and backwards for Nintendo to do that. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about, and then we will get out of here, is this screenshot that I took on my phone. We've got more software added that supports voice chat. This is from the Nintendo Switch Online app. And, you know, I posted this and somebody immediately said, well, that's not true. It doesn't work. But it does. We just don't have any of the games updated on the Switch. So the new way that the voice works is you just have to click this voice button, and then there's a button there that says how to start voice chat. And I am going to test this again once the Nintendo Switch Online servers come out. I want to test this and see how it works. But it says enter this app's voice chat screen. So that just means go to this screen in the app, which is super easy. Then it says launch your Nintendo Switch software and enter a game mode that supports voice chat. And then using this app, start your voice chat immediately. So then once you're in on the game, you just hit the button and there you go. I'm very interested to see how it works. I know that there are a lot of people who are against this app. I am okay with this app because it's better than nothing. What I would prefer is that this app is a choice instead of just the only way to do it. I would prefer to be able to use it just straight on the Switch like other consoles, but this is what Nintendo wants to do, and I don't know. This seems like a good solution for people who are using their Switch outside of the house. Yes, I could also just jump in Discord, but I'm curious how this works, so I'm going to test this out in the future once we have something to do with that. Let's see. Captain Logan said the code gives agency to the consumer. If you make it instant, some people may not want it, but want to give it to a friend. Okay, I understand that, but you know, I don't know. Give it to a friend. If your friend can play Splatoon online, then they already have it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how it, like, if you want to give me a code for, I don't know, like in-game currency or something, then maybe I want to give that to a friend. But for this shirt, like if my friend has Nintendo Switch Online, if my friend is playing Splatoon 2 online, then they already have this. So I don't know. I'm kind of weird about the whole Splatoon thing. It's really odd. But anyway, That's it for today's show. I think that we talked about a bunch of stuff. Um, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you check out my other podcast, 78 Degrees. Go to runjumpstomp.com/78 degrees, and that's DEGREES. Make sure you check that out, subscribe to it, review it, and by the way, if you haven't already, review this show too. I went way longer than I meant to, so I'm just going to get out of here real quick. The music from today's episode can be found at runjumpstomp.com/music. It is the DuckTales The Moon theme by Tom Winter Acoustic. Again, runjumpstomp.com/thank you to check out all of the stuff. I'm out of here, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.